It's a story as old as time. Two people, maybe strangers, sharing a home. They split bills, share chores, and sometimes dreams over late-night tea. What starts as a practical arrangement can become a friendship, a bond, a kind of modern family. But what if the person you trust most is hiding a dark secret? Imagine a cozy apartment. Two coffee mugs by the sink, two toothbrushes in the bathroom, a calendar filled with both your plans. Everything looks normal, but beneath the surface, resentment can grow. It might start with a forgotten chore or a borrowed sweater, but sometimes it festers into something much darker. This isn't a story about monsters in the night or strangers lurking outside. It's about the enemy within, the person you thought you could trust. The betrayal is what makes these stories so unsettling. The home, once a sanctuary, becomes a trap. And the person you share it with becomes the architect of your pain. Darkness can unfold in the most ordinary places. Student dorms, suburban apartments, shared houses just like yours. It's a story about love, or what some mistake for love. It's about jealousy, a powerful and destructive force. And it's about poison, a silent, patient killer. Not chosen in rage, but with cold, calculated precision. A weapon that lets the perpetrator watch as their victim slowly fades away, all while offering a comforting word and a helping hand. The most chilling stories don't come from outside, they come from the heart of home. Sometimes the greatest threat is the one who knows you best, and that's what makes this story so terrifying. We lock our doors at night, thinking danger is outside. But sometimes the real threat has a key to your front door. It knows your favorite foods, your allergies, your quirks. The person sleeping in the next room could be your greatest threat. The shared space, once a symbol of camaraderie, becomes a landscape of fear. Every meal, every object, every routine becomes suspect. The trust that underpins co-living shatters, replaced by anxiety. Living with someone means knowing their schedule, their habits, their vulnerabilities. That deep familiarity can be twisted into a weapon. The perpetrator doesn't need to break in or use force. They simply exist within your daily life, orchestrating a slow, silent attack. The betrayal is profound because it comes from presumed safety. Home becomes the scene of the crime. The victim might not realize it at first, blaming illness on stress or the flu. The crime hides in plain sight, disguised as care and friendship. The danger isn't a stranger, it's a roommate, and that is a horror of a different kind. Sometimes, the scariest monsters are the ones we let in. The weapons weren't guns or knives, but poisons, thallium, antifreeze, even eye drops, hidden in plain sight. The shared kitchen, the heart of the home, became a laboratory for malice. A splash of tasteless chemical in milk, juice, or leftovers. No one suspects a thing. The perpetrator didn't need to force anything. They just waited for hunger or thirst to do the work. In one case, energy drinks were poisoned. In another, a water jug was tainted. Everyday objects, coffee mugs, water bottles, became instruments of harm. The crime was nearly invisible, woven into the fabric of daily life. Watching a roommate grow weaker, offering sympathy while being the cause, that's the chilling reality. The poison wasn't just in the pantry, it was in the very foundation of trust. The act required cold detachment, patience, and a terrifying sense of control. The most ordinary routines became deadly, and the home, once safe, became a silent battleground. The poisoner's greatest weapon was routine. They knew every habit, the favorite mug, the daily iced tea, the leftovers for lunch. This wasn't random. It was a campaign exploiting predictability. The victim walked right into the trap day after day. The poisoner didn't need to be present. The plan unfolded on its own. The victim's comforting rituals became a countdown to disaster. Doctors searched for answers, never suspecting the true cause. The routine provided perfect cover, a cloak of normalcy hiding a terrible truth. The very habits that brought comfort were used to dismantle a life. In the end, routine was both the weapon and the disguise. The symptoms crept in slowly: headaches, nausea, fatigue. Victims blamed stress or the flu, never suspecting a sinister cause. As weeks passed, symptoms worsened: hair loss, burning pain, confusion. Doctors were stumped. Tests came back inconclusive. The illness didn't fit any known disease because it wasn't natural. The first clue was a pattern: feeling worse at home, better away. The realization dawned: something in the home was making them sick. Investigators focused on the environment, narrowing the possibilities. Was it mold, a chemical leak, or something more personal? They mapped out what the victim ate and drank, day by day. Slowly, a horrifying picture emerged. The sickness wasn't just happening at home, it was being administered there. The home had become the delivery system for a slow, deliberate attack. In the end, it was the digital world that exposed the poisoner. Investigators dug into search histories and purchase records. There, they found damning evidence: searches for poisons, online orders for chemicals, books on toxicology. Each click, each purchase was a step in a deadly plan. This wasn't a crime of passion. It was premeditated, deliberate. The digital trail laid out the entire timeline, from idea to execution. Receipts for chemicals, credit card statements, Amazon orders, all nails in the coffin. The evidence showed not just intent, but action. The poisoner couldn't claim it was an accident or a momentary lapse. The planning was cold, logical, and sustained. The digital breadcrumbs revealed a mindset on harm. In the end, technology became the silent witness, and the truth was impossible to erase. What drives someone to poison a roommate? It's rarely about money or hatred. In most cases, the motive is romantic jealousy, a toxic love triangle. The poisoner sees their roommate as an obstacle to happiness, not a person. Obsession blots out empathy and morality. The perpetrator feels entitled to the romantic partner, viewing the victim as a problem to be solved. The goal isn't always to kill, but to incapacitate, to remove the rival. They want the romantic partner to turn away from the victim and toward them. It's a cruel, manipulative strategy, born from a desperate need for control. Poison becomes a tool to orchestrate a twisted outcome. In the end, it's not just a crime, it's a tragedy of obsession. The truth rarely comes out in a single moment. It starts with the victim's intuition, strange tastes, odd insistence on certain foods, a sense of being watched. Suspicion grows, and investigators follow the trail. Friends recall jealousy, obsession, and strange comments. Motive emerges from the social circle. Toxicology reveals the poison. Search warrants uncover the source. Contaminated containers, hidden chemicals, syringes. Each piece is another thread. The suspect's story unravels under pressure, contradicted by evidence. Sometimes they try to interfere, only digging deeper. The web of lies collapses, exposing the chilling truth. The home's secrets are finally brought to light. These stories strike at the heart of trust, especially among women who share a home. Roommates can become sisters, confidants, partners in life. But the sanctuary of friendship can be violated from within. Intimate knowledge is weaponized. Care turns to calculation. Jealousy, left unchecked, can curdle into something monstrous. The lesson isn't to live in fear, but to value boundaries and honest communication. Resentments that grow in silence become dangerous. True sisterhood requires loyalty, support, and respect for boundaries. We must watch for warning signs of obsession and jealousy in others and ourselves. The trust we place in each other is precious, and it must be protected.